Hey, what's up, legends? Welcome back to Tales of the Famous, the channel where we crack open the vaults of Hollywood's hidden battles, the ones that don't make the red carpet reels, but forge icons in fire and doubt. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell right now, because every week we uncover the raw, unfiltered truth behind the stars you thought you knew. No gloss, no spin, just the sweat, the scars, and the soul. Today, we're stepping into a story that's equal parts triumph and torment, a tale of transformation that almost broke a man before it built a legend. Imagine this. You're a 26-year-old actor from Hawaii, scraping by on bit parts and sequels like Back to the Future Part 2, dreaming of that one role that flips the script on your life. Then, out of nowhere, Hollywood hands you the keys to the kingdom, or so it seems. Not just any role. The role. You have to embody Bruce Lee, the dragon himself, the philosopher fighter whose lightning kicks and piercing gaze redefined martial arts, heroism, and Asian representation on screen. His speed was superhuman, his philosophy eternal, his legacy a global earthquake that still ripples today. One wrong move, and you're not just a flop. You're the guy who tarnished a god. This is the untold odyssey of Jason Scott Lee and Dragon, the Bruce Lee story, the 1993 biopic that grossed over $60 million worldwide, introduced Bruce to a new generation, and nearly shattered the man who brought him back to life. After 30 years of silence, Jason's finally opening up about the breakdowns, the blessings, the brutal training, and the Hollywood temptations he walked away from. Will look like effortless power on screen. It was forged in isolation, injury, and an unyielding quest to honor the dragon without becoming its prey. Let's rewind the reel and dive deep, because most people have no idea how hard playing Bruce Lee really was. To grasp the magnitude of what Jason Scott Lee stepped into, you have to start at the roots, the sun-soaked shores of Hawaii, where a kid with mixed heritage learned early that identity is both a gift and a grind. Born November 19th, 1966, in Los Angeles, to a Chinese father and Hawaiian mother, Jason was whisked back to the islands at age 2, raised in the vibrant, multicultural mosaic of Oahu. Life there was paradise with an edge, turquoise waves for surfing, volcanic trails for hiking, but also the quiet undercurrents of being other in a place that prized its native pride. His parents divorced young, leaving Jason to navigate a world of blended families and unspoken questions about where he fit. Chinese roots pulling east, Hawaiian spirit grounding him in the Pacific. School at Pearl City High was where the spark ignited. Drama club became his dojo, a safe space to channel that restless energy into characters who could leap beyond labels. By college at Fullerton, under the sharp eye of acting coach Sal Romeo, Jason honed a raw intensity, part athlete, part dreamer. He was a gymnast at heart, flipping through life with the grace of someone who'd rather soar than stand still. But Hollywood, it didn't roll out the red carpet. His big break tease came in 1987 with a small role in Cheech Marin's Born in East L.A., channeling that immigrant hustle. Then, 1989's Back to the Future Part 2, a quick skateboarding cameo that put him on screen with Michael J. Fox, but left him hungry for more. Ghoulies 3. Ghoulies Go to College followed, a goofy horror flick that paid bills but bruised egos. Jason was grinding, auditioning for everything from indies to blockbusters, but the industry saw him as exotic flavor, not leading man material. The turning point? A gut-wrenching rejection that almost derailed him. Early 1990s. Jason auditions for Michael Mann's The Last of the Mohicans, eyes on a meaty Native American role opposite Daniel Day-Lewis. He pours his soul into it, channeling that Hawaiian resilience, the athlete's poise. But the verdict? He doesn't look quite Mohican enough. Heart sinks. Door slams. Jason's left questioning if Hollywood's gates were ever meant for someone like him. Mixed, unclassifiable, authentically himself. Little did he know that no was the universe's sly redirect. Casting director Bonnie Timmerman, watching from the shadows, jotted his name down. Not for Mohicans, for something mythic. Months later, the call comes. Director Rob Cohen, scouting for Dragon, The Bruce Lee Story, a biopic greenlit by Universal to cash in on Bruce's enduring cult, based on Linda Lee Cadwell's intimate 1975 memoir Bruce Lee. The Man Only I Knew needs someone who can move like lightning and emote like thunder. Timmerman whispers Jason's name. Cohen doesn't hesitate. He dials direct. No agents, no BS. "We're making a film about Bruce Lee," he says, "and we think you might be right." Jason's jaw hits the floor. Bruce Lee? The kid from Hawaii idolizes clips of Enter the Dragon, mesmerized by the one-inch punch, the water-like flow. But play him? That's not a role. That's a reckoning. The offer lands like a roundhouse to the soul. Jason's no martial artist. Gymnast, sure, but Jeet Kune Do? That's Bruce's hybrid beast. A philosophy of adaptability forged from Wing Chun, boxing, fencing. The script arrives. Bruce's art from Hong Kong street kid to Oakland Dojo founder, battling Hollywood racism, back injuries, and inner demons, all while loving fiercely with Linda, Lauren Holly, and fathering Brandon, soon to be a tragic echo. It's not just biography. It's myth-making, with supernatural ghost visions symbolizing Bruce's curses and conquests. Cohen wants epic, flying kicks, explosive fights. Jason? He craves truth, the human beneath the hype. Fear grips like a joint lock. Days blur into a week. Jason ghosts the script. Cohen calls again. "What are you afraid of?" Jason's raw. "I'm afraid of making the biggest mess of myself before my career even begins." It's deeper than stage fright. Bruce was idol, mentor in absentia. His Tao of Jeet Kune Do, a Bible for the displaced. To fail? Catastrophic. "I didn't know how I could be this person," Jason later confessed. But Cohen hears humility, not hubris. "Just because you answer that way, we think we've got the right guy." Pre-production hits like a typhoon. No formal martial background means starting from zero while the world watches. Studio pressure mounts. Universal wants a hit, not a homage. Jason dives in, but the weight crushes. Midway through training, it snaps. "I had an emotional breakdown," he revealed in a raw 2023 Yahoo Entertainment interview, marking 30 years since release. Not fireworks, but a quiet implosion. Body freezes, mind blanks. For a full week, paralysis, can't train, can't rehearse, can't face the mirror. "Everything was too heavy," he said. "I was just flattened. Doubts avalanche. They picked the wrong guy. I'll ruin the legacy. My career ends before it starts." Isolation amplifies it. Far from Hawaii, alone in LA's concrete grind. Journal entries from the time, shared decades later, read like battle scars. Sleepless nights, whispers of what if I become the joke. Production delays compound the chaos. Cohen suffers a heart attack in February 1992, pushing filming back a month. Jason contracts hepatitis, another setback. Whispers of the Lee curse, that mythical family hex, hover like smoke. But in the abyss, glimmers emerge. Bruce's inner circle reaches out, offering not pity, but lifelines. Breakthrough brews in the dojo, where physical fire tempers emotional steel. Jason's no blank slate. He's athletic, a gymnast coil of power, but Jeet Kune Do demands more. Fluidity, interception, no fixed form. Enter Jerry Poteet, Bruce's original student, a Kempo black belt turned JKD guardian. Poteet, who trained under Ed Parker before Bruce handpicked him in the 60s, knows the art's soul. Not just strikes, but surrender to the moment. He choreographs fights, trains Jason, and co-star Lauren Holly. For months, turning actor into interceptor. Sessions are savage symphonies. 7 weeks pre-filming. Blocks, kicks, punches drilled till muscles scream. Poteet mirrors Bruce's method. Don't fight the man, read him, instilling awareness over aggression. Jason absorbs. Empty hand flows, nunchaku spins, 1-inch blasts. But it's the stories that ignite. Bruce pushed so hard he was constantly laid up. Poteet reveals, days bedridden, body wrecked by will. Not invincible icon, but vulnerable visionary. That humanizes the myth, eases Jason's terror. One drill etches eternal. Poteet unleashes an explosive technique, precise cellular shockwave. Jason freezes electrified. That's Bruce Lee, Poteet says simply. Echoes of childhood tapes flood back. The blur of Fist of Fury, the poetry of power. Training evolves. Not choreography, but cellular rewrite. Mental drills, meditation on using no way as way. Build resilience. Emotional, confronting fears mid-spar. Spiritual, Bruce's Tao, water adapting to the cup. By rap, Jason's certified under Poteet, JKD instructor for life, a bond that outlasts the film. The training made you feel like you could fly, he reflected in 2023. But flight demands fall first. No amount of reps rebuilds without roots. Jason knows, without Bruce's bloodlines gnawed, it's sacrilege. First, phone threads with Linda Lee Cadwell, Bruce's widow, the steady keel in his storm. Her 1975 book anchors the script. Her voice, warm and wise, probes Jason's intent. She was kind, open, he recalls, curious about this Hawaiian outsider daring the dragon's dance. But words pale. Trust demands presence. Day 1. Universal lot. Jason, lost in the sprawl, ducks into a nondescript office. A blonde woman sorts boxes. Old clothes, sketches, nunchaku worn smooth by Bruce's grip. Directions to Cohen's? He asks, assuming assistant. She rises, smiles. Linda Lee Cadwell. Shockwaves. She's no observer. She's curator, hauling relics for wardrobe authenticity. Jason, steeped in Hawaiian mana, spiritual essence in objects, hesitates to touch. They held weight, he says. Sacred energy. A belt buckle, sweat-stained. A notebook scrawled with Tao insights. Not props, portals. Linda's grace disarms. Her stories breathe life into the ghost. Then, the son, Brandon Lee, 27, rising star of Rapid Fire, offered the role first but declined. Too weird playing dad's romance, he quipped. Protective, charismatic, he sizes Jason over dinner at Mr. Chow. Brandon roars up in a sports car, energy electric, monologuing like stage fire. Disarming theater mass scare. Midway, wisdom drops. Don't try to be Bruce. Be true to yourself. Permission granted. Breath returns. With Linda's quiet steel and Brandon's bold spark, Jason carries not burden, but baton. Irony bites later. Dragon dedicates to Brandon, killed on the Crow, set months post-premiere, echoing the film's prophetic curse visions. Legacy's double edge. Blessed but battered. Production launches a whirlwind across Hong Kong alleys, San Francisco dojos, LA soundstages. Jason's transformed, ripped, fluid, but the set's a pressure cooker. Creative clashes simmer. Cohen craves mythic spectacle, flying demons, slow-mo glory. Jason fights for flesh, Bruce's doubts, rages, tender husband moments. I didn't want a statue, he says. I wanted the man. Friction, not feud, passion's byproduct. Physical toll mounts. Fights choreographed by John Chung demand perfection. Nunchaku flurries, wire-assisted leaps. Jason does most stunts, Poteet praising his balletic progress. But exhaustion breeds edges. Tempers flare mid-take. One botch cue lands a real punch to Jason's face. Not malice, fatigue's fault. He storms to his trailer, collapses in silence, edges of burnout blurring. Journals swell with isolation. Nights I didn't sleep, thinking I'd ruined it all. Racism echoes Bruce's script fights, subtle slides from crew, typecasting whispers. Yet Jason endures, channeling Jeet Kune Do's core. Adapt. Absorb. Intercept. A pivotal scene cracks him open. Bruce's breakdown, paralyzed by back injury, dictating Tao to Linda. Jason taps personal grief, the boy doubting his place. Something cracked, he says. I wasn't acting. I was grieving. Vulnerability bleeds, authenticity. Rap comes. Jason's not just survived, he's transcended. May 7th, 1993, Dragon roars into theaters, battling Kevin Kline's Dave for box office throne and wins opening weekend. $63 million worldwide on a $14 million budget. A smash for Universal, outpacing skeptics who pegged it niche. Critics hail Rotten Tomatoes 78% fresh, praising Jason's sensational balance of power and pathos. New York Times, intense, vulnerable, brings the man to life. Variety, humanizes the myth without diluting the magic. Audiences flood in. Fans reconnecting heritage. Kids discovering Bruce anew. Fan mail cascades. Thai teens crediting Jason for JKD paths. Asian Americans inspired by the interracial love story, smashing barriers. One comment lingers. Jason Scott Lee gave Bruce a soul. Impact endures. Dragon reintroduces Bruce, philosopher over puncher, to millennials. Inspires docs, games, endless homages. Jason's performance? Oscar buzz whispers, but real win. Shifting tides for Asian leads. Yet poignancy shadows. Brandon's death days before premiere adds eerie weight. Film's curse, haunting real. Dedication reads like fate. Stardom beckons. A tidal wave of offers. Mortal Kombat? His for the taking. Speed sequel? On the table. Sci-fi tent poles. Action epics. Paths to A-list eternity. But Jason pauses. Dragon didn't just launch him. It changed him. Immersed in Bruce's depth. Identity quests. Ego's illusion. He craves substance over spectacle. Hollywood pushes type. Stoic fighter. No tears. No questions. Jason? He wants mess, flawed heroes, cultural mirrors. I didn't want to erase what I'd learned, he says. Choices ripple. He grabs the Jungle Book, 1994, as Mowgli. Wild, soulful, but skips the explosions. Rapa Nui, 1994, Dive Polynesian Roots, Map of the Human Heart, 1992, released post-Dragon. Explores forbidden love. Momentum wanes. Murder in Mind, 1997, flops to cable. Tale of the Mummy, 1998, straight to video. Asian slots fill. Jackie Chan's comedy, Jet Li's precision. Jason? Too reflective. Dark Horse, Unbound. Rather than force fit, he retreats to Hawaii, land's embrace. Farms plots. Rises with dawn, harvests with hands calloused by choice. It wasn't glamorous, he reflects, but it was real. Jeet Kune Do lingers. Not dojo drills, but life weave. Bends become intercepts. Lifts flows. As father, he infuses kids with Bruce's essence. Mindfulness in meals, patience in play. No spotlight chases. Depth over dazzle. Recent nods. Voicing Buzzy in Lilo and Stitch, 2025 live action. Milan, 2020, as Li Shang, Affirm. Legacy's quiet, not loud. In 2023's The Wind and The Reckoning, he honors Hawaiian lepers, truth over tropes. Playing Bruce Lee wasn't a role for Jason Scott Lee. It was a rebirth. From breakdown to breakthrough, he didn't just mimic the dragon. He became its guardian, proving legends live in vulnerability, not just velocity. Dragon endures not for fights, but heart, the human honoring the myth. Jason's path? A masterclass in choosing self over spotlight, depth over dazzle. In a town that chews dreamers, he flew free. What about you? Ever faced a dragon that broke you before it built you? Drop your stories below. I read every one, and the boldest might spark a future tale. If this hit home, smash like, share with a fellow fighter, and subscribe for more tales of the famous. Next week, another icon's unseen scars. Until then, be water, my friends. Adapt, flow, conquer. Peace out.